So now we're live. Grab the chat room, move it over. So now we're live. Chat room, move it over. Now I know it's working. I heard the echo. So now we're live. Boom, chat goes here. And we should be able to go. User Poots. I'll have to boot you now. Sorry, Poots. I know you made a mistake. You didn't mean to put it on, but that's the only way to turn it off. All right, you guys can hear me now? We should be set to go. We're waiting for a few stragglers to come join us. There we go. Corzum, SMH, make sure you ask that of me again in a few moments. Let's just go over a few charts that we already looked at this morning, yesterday, day before, and then we'll look at those. Hey, George. So you guys can hear me now? Well, then we're good to go. All right, I'm glad to hear that. Let me check and see the count, see if some of you have joined from YouTube. No, we're getting there. So you can hear everything. No background noise. Yes, I changed some equipment, Sandy. So I think it's I upgraded even more things. I thought everything was upgraded. We found a couple of connectors needed new interfaces. So once we upgraded them, it got cleaner. And I just heard the chat room, which is a different one. I can keep my eye on that one too. All right, let's see what we look like. And I don't think there's anyone in the building to answer that phone that's ringing at the moment. And you know it's only going to be a cold caller, right? You'll see. Watch. It'll be a cold caller. Live with Oscar. There you go. Boop. As soon as you hear the noise, you know, at least you know you can hang up. Boop. All right, so today is, how many days are there in the week? 5. Today's Tuesday. The 10th, let's see. Today is Tuesday the 25th of October. We did a video last night to kind of look at what's supposed to happen today, which basically is the S&P, Nasdaq, Russell, especially the Nasdaq and Russell are at a tug of war, and we expect the Nasdaq to pull the Russell through. So there was, in last night's session, there was a chart in Russell that showed a little resistance, and we have to get above that to have the skies open for us, or the skies clear up, I should say. And Nasdaq was above that same hurdle, so I figured Nasdaq would pull it through. So let's just take a look at the series of charts that were in last night's video that we, of course, we produce for YouTube every night, and see what's going on. So now, traders did the day 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks now, well, 3 weeks and 2 days, that we got down here. And the S&P hit the 200 bar moving average on the weekly. I said, you know, I grew up on Wall Street. I promise you they are paying close attention to this. I don't expect it to hold because they're raising rates, but charts do what they do, and if it holds, then Wall Street will pay attention, and this thing's going to go right back up. And another thing that you've heard me say in so many videos since the first video this year talking about the downside, that they're going to raise rates. We started to discuss that in the beginning of the year, first video out this year in January. And I said, yes, they're going to raise rates. That will stop the music. When the music stops, the market drops. But if there's ever the slightest hint, if they even hint towards slowing down on raising those rates or not raising, this market will just explode. There'll be no stopping it. This market's been under a two-whammy, a two-punch onslaught, if you will. It's had crude at ridiculously high prices, destroying, any extra money that anyone has, which is always inflationary and makes the market come down. And you have them raising rates. And you've heard me say this many times, both of those, the 1-2 combination is why the market's feeling it. You pull either of those two out of the equation. You take crude out of the equation, market goes with them raising rates. You take raising rates out of the equation, market goes like crazy. Right now, crude is still in the 80s. It's not out of the equation, but there was chatter that they might not raise as aggressively. And right off the bat, Wall Street says, well then, that's probably why this has held. And they came in and bought it with a lot of gusto on Friday. Again, they bought it on Monday. And it looks like Tuesday might be getting more. So this is a weekly chart now. This bar up here is the entire week. So it's starting to run, right? It held this is the 4th week it's holding, and Wall Street's paying attention. So for now, we've got the weekly making, if you ask me, Wall Street fund managers say, hey, that could be the bottom of this move. Yes, they raised rates. Yes, that means the market goes down, and it did go down. Maybe this is the bottom of the move, because that is what happens when you hit the 200. I mean, even COVID couldn't do much more than knock it down for 4 or 5 weeks, and then away we went. This is the COVID dip. Let's see. So that's the weekly. And we also looked at some dailies and look at the E-mini S&P on the daily. Now we can remove this because we're doing more than just 2 up days in a bear market. This is 3. We broke out of the flag. We are well above the average, and nice. Wall Street's paying attention to that. So are we. So is everybody else, right? I apologize for not getting us long today. I would have, but the way the OMNI lines up and the way the market opened, I had to sort of step aside and not put my OMNIACs in. But we are short gold at a very advantageous level near the highs. So we did find a trade, and we're doing well there. But sorry, cats, due to the OMNI rules, I had to sidestep this. We'll grab it tonight, I'm sure. Anyway, that was to my OMNIACs who trade with me every day, and the ones who've been out to camp know what I'm talking about. All right, so above the average, above the bull flag. It did turn out to be a bull flag, just like we were suspecting it might be. And the way we're starting to go. So what comes next? The top of the channel. So now we look at the resistance and we light it up a little bit and say, well, maybe that's our next spot. Why? Well, that's kind of what created the channel to begin with. Rallying up. So that's probably our next target now that we've broken out of the bull flag. And what else was in last night's video? Apple. We mentioned that Apple was a big piece of the market, big component, large component in our stock market. And if Apple's going, so is everything else. And this bar didn't exist last night. We had this analysis. And in the video, I said, look, we are above the channel. Now we're above the average. That's not what usually happens. You stay inside the channel, you stay under the average. Out of the channel, above the average, and then when we add today in, boom. So far, so good. So those were some of the charts that we discussed in last night's video. Now I will bring back the chat rooms and see what you guys have been talking to me about. All right, so we're good. SMH, that was the question on YouTube. Corzheim says, SMH, Oscar, what do I think about the semiconductors? Well, let's go take a look. We'll find out together. That's not it, is it? I don't see that as being SMH, is it? No, it's not. It doesn't look right. The chart doesn't look right. This is SMHI. I'm not getting SMH to come up. And SMHI is not what you want to be looking at. So I cannot help you. I'm not getting that stock to come up. Or it's not a stock, it's probably an ETF. So yes, I can't get that ETF to show up for you because I'm SMH, right? Is that what I was typing? Let me just check myself there. Yes, that's what I was typing and it will not come up. Does anybody else have another chart or something that they would like for me to analyze or something we can go over together? Oh, it's the SOXL. That will probably come up, actually. SOXL will come up. The SOX will come up for me. Or SOXX. That's going to be easier because that's more common. So let's go there. What do I think about that? Well, let's get simple first, because that's always the best thing to do, is start with simplicity. You know, you can get really complicated if you want, but I say when you add complication to an already complicated thing like trading markets, you know, what are you asking for? You're complicating things. I say you bring some simplicity to complication and maybe you'll see some clarity. Now, that's my take on this. Let's get simple first. What's going on here? All right, so we know that we're in some, not quite parallel, but almost a parallel channel. Because Wall Street tends to like this average on Apple, and Apple's a big component, let's just say they like it here too on the SOX. Right? So let's look around at what this has done for us so far. Make that a little bigger. So let's see if this average is working, because if it is, well then I think we already know what to say here. And so far it is working. And we're making new highs in the S&P. Hooray. Just made a new high, 38.69.5. Gold, you go a little lower, everybody will be happy. So yes, this average is obviously working. And let's see, let's just check a few more. Right, I mean, look at it. This is obviously doing a fantastic job here. So that average is working. With that average working, let's put the circle here. And let's kind of do this together, because there's already another channel and it's right in before your eyes. It's right in my eyes. Let me put it before your eyes. You've got this channel brewing here too. You can take it two ways, I'd say. Let's start here and go this way. And that puts you above whatever's going on here. All right, so let's start with that. And then let's see if there's any parallelness going on to that channel. And you basically got a parallel channel there, breaking out of it, getting above the average. I say it follows the stock market higher. That's what the SOX will do. Short amount of time though, a couple of days. I don't know what it does after that. I don't usually trade it. Anything, by the way, for my style, just so that you know, if it looks like this all over the chart, see the gap, all these gaps, yuck. I don't like any chart that looks like that. I call that a crappy chart. I don't trade it. I don't go near it. I don't want to know about it. You end up in all kinds of trouble with markets that gap around like this. So I don't really follow this chart, but doing analysis on it tells me it will follow the stock market higher for a few days at least. And let's go back to the chat room. Can I do UVXY? No, I probably have a saved graph of that somewhere, but let me just pull it up fresh. Oh boy. It doesn't move enough for me to care, but I wouldn't want to have this in my portfolio. So any stock that moves $1 or two a day, I don't even analyze it. I don't trade it. I don't really care to invest the amount of time it takes to come up with analysis and then expect a dollar movement. So as a day trading point of view, I don't analyze stocks like this. It just doesn't move enough. But you put a gun to my head, I would tell you I don't want this in my portfolio. That was UVXY, by the way, Matthew, for you. The notorious 2X VIX. Is that what the UVXY is? I spent many years back in the 2008, 9, 10 era just doing my best to talk people out of trading those 3X ETFs. I mean, this is risky enough. Why would you 3X it? And then what happens when you get in a 3X market? You're putting yourself in a market where more gamblers participate than traders. More people who can't afford to even be in, so they want 3 times the kick for their $2. It is not the place to go, I promise you. For hedging, maybe. For trading, it's not the place to be. Oh, by the way, just have to make a quick adjustment, which I didn't do when we talked about that, sir. Quick adjustment. Let's go. I think that's what I read. Make sure that's right. Yes. Okay. Lulu and Ulta. Dan Tipton wants to see Lulu, huh? All right, let's go. Let's go look at Lulu. What a mess! Yuck. I can do that. Be right back, kids. I'm just checking on something. Be there. Not supposed to be there. It's supposed to. Sorry about that. So, looking back at this, it's scary looking the way it moves around. And of course, simple resistance. I didn't want to grab that. I didn't mean to grab that tool. But simple resistance puts this thing up in the 337, 340 area. Simple resistance from here. So where are you at? 320? If you tap that, you're at 336. I would say that's something that you want to keep your eye on, Dano. SPY is ripping. Yeah, it's looking good. So they have it on the run for now, and you've got earnings coming out, so fundamentals flying out there to help keep this thing going. I don't know that we're falling in love with the upside here, kids. Let's let this play out. I'm surprised this isn't scrolling. What you're telling me is not scrolling for some crazy reason. Ah. Gotcha. I can do that too, thank you. I'm doing 5 things at once, kids. My apologies. Okay, check, sir. All right, so let's just go look at some stuff that I want to look at because no one's got a suggestion. Keep your eyes on that sucker for sure. E-mini S&P. Transportation average is interesting. Look what it's trying to do. It's trying to fill its gap. Check this out. It's almost there too. So it left 2 gaps, one filled, one almost filled. The other gap, if you remember when it first took place, was down here. Right, it gapped, dropped, gapped again, looked like the end of the world was coming because we broke through the double bottom, and then you pull out the weekly and you see the S&P landed in the spot. That's kind of what happened when all of that happened. The S&P landed at the 200 bar moving average, and the S&P weekly, when this was created down here, that was the same day the S&P put in that bottom on the 200 bar moving average on the weekly chart. So this certainly was bad juju when this happened. Huh? That was a good call. It's an old chart. NVTA. Does it move a lot, NVTA? I'll look at it. NVTA. Not my style. Looks like I've looked at this before. Look, I've got lines on it, so I've obviously been here before. What on earth? Oh, I remember this stock, you crazy person. I remember that stock. Is that what you wanted to show me? My buddy Trend Reaction was long that stock on this day. That was a home run, kid, that's for sure. And he happens to be typing to me right now. He asked me to look at it. How do you see the charts Oscar's talking about? I'm showing them on YouTube. And Daniel gave you the link, I assume. Any thoughts on the DAX? I have to say, all the years I used to trade the DAX and the CAC 40 and the FTSE, they're just not in vogue with us American traders anymore. I don't do much with the DAX. I'll pull it up from time to time, but I don't do much with it, or the CAC, or the FTSE anymore. They used to be mainstays. So, I have no opinion of the DAX. Sorry to say, Herman. CMG prior to earnings. That's good. Let's go look at that. Chipotle, right? I think that's CMG. Oh, you buy the price? Oh yeah, that's CMG. All right, so this doesn't seem to matter. Let's just get it out of there. What do I see here? A couple of ways of looking at it. So right off the bat, CMG, it's been knocking on this door a lot, right? Knock, 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 knock. You can't knock on a door that many times in the stock market without it opening. So CMG is knocking on a door right here, right before earnings. What else do I see with CMG? You got some V-shaped thing going on here. Let's give this a different color. You got some V-shaped thing going on here, right? You got this happening. A little bit, you know, you can put it wherever you want, but it fits better there, so that's where we'll put it. You're knocking on the door, knock, knock, knock. You are above resistance, maybe? Is this above now? You got this. Right where the door is, you got some resistance. So what is that? And of course, all right. You want to see confusion? Let me show you. Look, let's label it first. So look, we can turn this thing upside down on its end. Right now, slightly bullish, looking like that V bottom, and knocking on this door so many times, right? Let me see if I have a little thing here. Look, we're knocking on this door a bunch of times. Knock, knock. And it's just to represent the knocking. Knock, 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 knock. So we're knocking on that door. All right, so that looks bullish. But then you go, well, wait a minute. Don't bear flags kind of build like this? And that throws the whole thing out the window on us. Could it just be a big bear flag? Let's go with knocking on the door. How about that? Being that the S&P is going up, and I think Chipotle and fast food probably did really well. I don't care anything about inflation. Everybody eats that like crazy. So I'm going to go with this. You want my professional opinion? We've knocked on the door enough times. We're going to open it once. Once we get earnings from Chipotle, the door's going to open. That's my opinion. We'll see if I'm wrong. Now, I didn't run the OMNI, right? So my opinion that I'm giving you is about as worthless as asking some bum on the street their opinion. However, I've got a little time in this game. That would be my opinion without running the OMNI. If the OMNI was bearish, my opinion would change like that. I don't know what the OMNI is, so I would call this knock, knock. You're knocking too many times on this door. That would be the technique I would give this. And if you knock on a door enough times in this industry, it opens. Because obviously, now anyone can answer the reason why it opens. And if you don't know, I'll make it simple for you. Because every time you get to this door, some trading has happened. And what's happened above the door is people have entered into stops. So stops start building above the previous high. And you get there again and it doesn't get taken out. All right, more stops get put in, more stops get put in. How many times can you do that before they run up and take out the stops? So that's what is likely to take place when Chipotle comes out with their earnings. If you ask me, everything's in the chart. You just have to read the chart properly. Let me just report, get rid of, and this way this lunatic can't keep doing that, and that'll be the end of that. And we'll go like this, and we'll get rid of whatever ugly is on the screen, and please type to me whatever you want. BP says Google. Wait, we got to go with Google first. I can only read one line at a time, so I don't know what you guys are typing under here. All right, so Google, and then we'll look at, oh, DM. Don't we have a DM going on? Over here. So let's go look at Google. All right, did you get this one? I just sent you one. Are you getting that one, Trin? Yes? You have to reply back so I know you have it. All right, so. No, huh? Let me just send you another one. All right, how about this message? You get this one, Trin? Ah, there we go. All right, so let's go look at Google. Remember that very scary flag that it broke down from? So what are we putting in now? Boy, Investors Business Daily would be so proud if they hear what I'm going to say next, because they think everything that dips is what I'm about to show you, but this could be some form of, oh, that's not going to work. This could be some form of, what can I use? What tool? Ah, this tool will work. Cup and handle. You got the cup building right there. There's your cup. Or your menorah, however you want to look at this. But I think that could be a cup. Now, I'm not one that calls them very often, and I was kidding about Investors Business Daily. However, they tend to call a lot of formations cup and handles. I'm kind of rare with them, but I think that could actually be forming. We'll see what happens. We did fall out of the bear flag so far. But maybe that's what's going on there, kids. Google, of course, shorter term analysis, this looks bullish, right? You get shorter term, that looks bullish. Looking at those three bars is bullish. So that in itself, obviously you follow it up, but that looks like it could be a cup. All right, let's see what else we got going on. All right, anybody want to look at anything else chart-wise? Make sure that you are subscribing to these YouTube videos so that you get a notification. You can't just subscribe, you have to hit notify as well so that when I go live, you get notifications. Sure, we're going to look at silver. And if you want to communicate with me all the time, make sure that you're in my live trading room at Live with Oscar, where I always have a chat room like this one, but it's running at all times. YouTube chat rooms only when I'm streaming. This one is forever. So if you want to converse with me more, come to this chat room, livewithoscar.com. Anyway, let's go look at silver. No, I did not do a home run today, ICS. Called it properly, but the way my Omni's set up, you don't know the intricacies of the Omni, but it didn't allow me to buy the way it opened last night at 6 p.m. I had to sort of walk away a little bit. So we sold gold instead, and that's doing well. Actually, there should already be a gold chart sitting around, right? That should be like this. Yes. So gold did drop from that spot, just like we expected. It's been down here so far. So put in the type of bar we were looking for. and probably should end up a little lower, but you did get something interesting happen. The dollar came down. So, dollar down would make gold want to go up. Same thing with silver, which we'll get to in a moment. Dollar broke a little bit, right? That made everything pop. So, yes, gold is going to be slightly buoyant if that happens again tomorrow. Gold and silver don't move dollar for dollar, of course. With the way the dollar moves, it's not point for point. If the dollar goes down a few days in a row, the gold will turn around and go up. So silver, as you asked for, what is this nonsense on here? Just get rid of it. I think it's this. No. Let's put the 50 on and get rid of this crazy 20. I hate using fast averages. All right, it's a little smoother, a little prettier. What do I think of silver? Nothing good can ever come of trading this market unless you go short on rallies. It's the only thing it's good for. I've been trading this for, I don't know, 41 years. It's only good for selling rallies. So, what does it do? It always fails when you think it's going to do something smart. All the commercials start on TV, everybody gets happy, and it always just fails. So, what did it do here? It did what you'd expect out of it. It put in a bearish formation. Look. Right? This is silver. Oh, basically it's some weird looking head and shoulders type action going on here. Inside of a downward channel. Below the 50 ball moving average. It's above it for today. I don't know. I don't really care about it that much. It is dollar related, I will tell you that. If DX goes down, this will rise. So if dollar happens to go up, you will get this kind of an effect. Excuse me. If dollar happens to go down is what I meant to say. You will get this kind of an effect. This is what happens if dollar drops 3-4 days in a row. Silver and gold end up doing this. Silver sits on this side of the teeter-totter. Well, let's just make it easier. Silver would be here. If the dollar continues to do what it's doing for the last couple of days, that's what will happen. So this will end up rallying at least up to there, that red line, if the dollar continues lower. It doesn't mean it's a bull market by any means. I mean, look at the way this line goes from the top left of the screen all the way down to the bottom right. That is not a bullish market. That we know. No matter how much you own, people, sorry to tell you, that's not bullish. Even if it goes up a little bit. Not answering that. US. Oh, you want to look at the euro US dollar, huh? Euro US dollar. Let's go look at the euro. Euro. Bingo. 1 day out. Another sign the dollar might continue lower, huh? It's another day out of the it's a day out of this channel. Go euro. But we don't need the dollar to come down. That would really hurt the Americans. We'd have really, really high inflation. I don't. Here. Where was that sound coming from? I got it right here. It's hiding behind one of my private messages. There we go. All right, that sound's gone. All right, so looking at that euro, wow, looks like it's finally getting a breath of fresh air. However, one day out does not mean it won't turn around tomorrow and do this, so don't get too happy yet. It's got to be out of this channel for a while before you call it broken out. So hopefully you get this. If you're a euro fan, well, watch out for something more like this. Goldman Sachs, did they report yet? Last week, maybe? I think banks did their job already, right? Obviously, they did. Huh? Market structure is starting to look slightly better. I don't know what I would say about that. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade that. I don't like the way it looks. I would turn away from that chart and go find something else. Oh, they reported already. It makes sense because you can see they ran up pretty strong. Banks, on higher interest rates, banks are going to do well. What are the grains looking like? Soybeans. That doesn't look good. Unless dollar continues lower, that will change the landscape. But looking at that, you know I like to spot things that look like they could be flags and call them flags, right? So, with the exception of a little bit of through the top of this line, you can just use the top if you want. That looks like it could be some form of a bearish formation. Let's give it a different color so it's a little easier to see. Soybeans. That could be a bearish formation with room to gyrate inside the formation, right? So you can gyrate up and still be in a bearish formation, right? It could end up doing stuff like this. Soybeans, if you ask me, is in a bearish formation larger, but has room to move inside that formation. Just move around a little bit before it does anything else. Just looking at the chart. That's so loud. All right, so that would be soybeans. Let's see, wheat. I know wheat's not going to look good. Oof. Wheat doesn't look even slightly good. Damn, that looks nasty. This dollar doesn't go down. If dollar goes down further, it'll save wheat. Otherwise, that just looks terrible. And corn. Corn just kind of moseys. It's kind of just moseying along. Moseying along in an Oscarism known as an F flag, which usually continues. So I would think corn will just continue to stay inside of this thing and just mess around and go up and back down and up until it finally breaks out of it. Corn. Let's go look at something like soy meal. No, what am I doing? ZMZ is the new symbol. Nah, nothing. Nothing there. Alright, let's go back to the chat rooms and see what we're chatting about. Is it time to ring a bell? Yes, it is. 4 o'clock. Stocks are closed. Goodbye, stock market. What platform am I using? You're looking at something called QST. I have a link to the software on my site. Microsoft is dumping, huh? Well, what does that mean? Let's go look at that. Let's go see what you mean by that. Yeah, I didn't think so. When you said that, I'm thinking, Microsoft's been going up. Don't know what you mean, brother. Microsoft does not look like it's sinking. I don't know what you're looking at, but I don't see Microsoft sinking. Ah, it reported. Gotcha. See what you're saying? I forgot I just rang the bell, but forgot the market closed. Very good, Josh. Good conclusion. So after hours, let's look. Let me look it up real fast. After hours, it's trading at. Let's just go pull it up and we'll see. Yeah, down 301 after hours. Gotcha. All right, so that's so loud. That's really loud in my ears. What are we doing with gold? You gotta wait. You gotta wait all the way till the close. Gold keeps you captive. We're short gold at what, 63 and a half? That's trading 57 and a half. I mean, there's money in it, right? But it always makes you wait. Always, always. Any thoughts on Tesla? Well, it had a little turnaround today, didn't it? I think Tesla had a little turnaround today. When, oh, you're going to give me my Tesla chart. Thank you. Bear flag worked, right? The market dropped, so bear flag is gone now. All right, market dropped, boom, boom. And now what's it doing? It's knocking the other way. I don't like this chunky area right here. Asking about Tesla, I do not like this chunky area right here. I'd love to see you get out of this zone. It's an ugly zone. I don't like it. It is bearish looking. You've knocked on this door. 1, 2, 3. 4, 5 times, but we'll just call it 4. Yeah, you got to get out of this chunky zone right here. I don't like the way it looks here. I think it can go up, but if it doesn't get out of this zone, I think we're just looking at more downside. I mean, because it is absolutely a bear flag. I mean, it's just absolutely a bear flag. So you need to get out of this zone, otherwise it's going to do its job. If you notice, the S&P's come down 15, 20 points off its highs right at the end of the day. It came right off. And now you've had a couple of reportings where the stocks have come off as well. Interesting, huh? All right. Well, that was fun. Are we still showing? I mean, am I still showing everything here? Is YouTube still working? Is everything working, guys? Because my YouTube's not showing me what it's showing you right now. If it is, something broke. All right, so timing chart is saying beware. Gotcha. I am on, thank you. Yeah, as far as mine, I'm not. I'm frozen somewhere on my side. Being able to view it, I mean, it seems to be frozen. Anyway, so traders, thank you for tuning in. I will try to do this again tomorrow and hopefully every day during the week. And we'll use the information that we see, hopefully, to work on charts moving forward. And if you'd like to join me where I'm doing what I'm doing right now with you on YouTube, and I think we're out on Twitter at the moment and StockTwits. If you're watching there, just come join me in my live trading room at livewithoscar.com. Much easier to converse with me there than through the other social networkings. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, stops are in. Emotions are, and that's really serious, out. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you tonight for analysis, my nightly video, and live stream.